Right, Russ, what were your thoughts on that one then? It seemed to be pretty routine for your guys in the end.
Yeah, I think we deserved to win the game. I think it was a new challenge for us in the first half. It was really interesting to see how they set up to stop us, and it was good. We had to find different solutions during the game, and then obviously losing the goal was disappointing. Fantastic finish, disappointing from our end, but I think apart from one chance early on, we limited them to really, really little. I thought the guys defended really well. Work rate was incredible, and just the composure and belief to stick to us and what we do, and know that eventually it was going to pay off. And we spoke about that at half time, that we're just going to have to be a little bit patient, and we're going to come up against this, I feel, a lot this season, where teams are going to come and try and make it really hard for us. And we haven't faced that kind of test in pre-season yet at all as well, in terms of Northampton's style of play, and they're really good at what they do, and they're really aggressive. So it was about making sure the game just didn't turn into a fight and trying to assume as much control as possible. And I thought the guys done that really well, so I'm really proud of them. They really deserved it. Got some fantastic evenings for certain individuals, who I'm sure we'll talk about at some point. So yeah, overall I'm really pleased for them as a group, because they've deserved that, and they got the rewards for their intensity, their work, and their performance tonight.
Talk to us about the goals, because all three came from terrific moves.
Yeah, and it's, I think we knew at some point we were going to get in those positions, and then and to be honest, we should have had a few more goals. If I'm really nitpicking, we probably should have had a few more. We got in some great positions, and we just got a little bit anxious. And I get it. The guys haven't played for a long time either, so like in a competitive game only Saturday. So that's coming. I feel like that's coming. But I think the goals were excellent. John Freeman coming off the bench and setting up 2 goals. Matti Sorinola was excellent again. 2 young guys who have surprised a lot of people, I think. John is unbelievably resilient. He shows a huge amount of composure, especially in the final third for such a young guy. And we joke with the lads that he's the oldest 18-year-old in the world, in terms of his maturity and his confidence. So it's great, and really pleased for him. And Sam took the goal brilliantly. Matty took his goal fantastically, deserved that. But the one that stood out for me was Matti Sorinola won a tackle on the edge of his box. We break, he runs 80 yards, crosses the ball where the pass is far too hard for him. He ends up running off the pitch into the stand, dinks it to the back stick, and Regan scores. Incredible. So those are the stuff that I said to the guys before, you don't have to do much to be recognised in our team, in terms of you don't have to do much special. You need to do what we ask, and in terms of work and desire and intensity, and Matti Sorinola doing that typified what these guys were willing to do for each other, what they're willing to do for themselves, what they're willing to do for us as a group of staff, and makes me immensely proud. And I said to them, this has to be the start of something now. They're all chomping at the bit and fighting for the shirt, and a couple of guys are giving me real issues in terms of selection for Saturday, because they've really forced their way into our thinking.
Well, it's certainly 2 games in a row, isn't it, for Sorinola to have made a big impression on you?
Yeah, I think the best thing for the amount of work we do, especially with the young guys, they're involved in everything we do. We've had a lot of academy boys, and there was a lot on the bench again tonight. Stepped up with us pre-season. They've stayed with us for a reason, because they learn, they listen, they take the information on board, and then they show it in their performance. So it's up to us to fine-tune all of them and work on the stuff they need to work on. They know that, and we're going through all of that at the moment, to make sure they know what is required and what we need them to improve on. And we'll make sure we give them every chance to do that. And I think Matty was a really interesting one, because when we took over last year, his contract was coming to an end. He was on a short-term contract, and I think there was a lot of doubts if he would ever be ready for first team physically, etc. But I'd seen enough from playing with him and from his character to suggest that he needed a bit more time. And with us not having an under-23, sometimes that will be the case. So he's been really patient, and he works unbelievably hard. And he's such a laid-back guy. He doesn't let anything faze him, but sometimes he's too laid back and needs a little bit of a kick up the bum. But not in a bad way at all. And I love his mentality, the same as John, the same as the young guys we've got with us. They need to grow with us, they need to make sure they're learning every single day from the other guys. And at the minute they're doing that, and that's why Matty's had the chance to play in 2 games, and he's done it brilliantly and really taken his chance. So I'm really pleased with him, and it gives us another player in the squad that we know we can rely on and trust. And these guys are going to be inconsistent, they're going to make mistakes, but we have to be patient and we have to stick with them and make sure that we give them every chance to make sure they have a careers, hopefully with us, and if not, then it'll be elsewhere in the future.
We often talk about youngsters coming through the academy. When you hand a debut to an academy product at 30 years old, probably would raise a few eyebrows, but I thought after a little bit of a nervous start, Laurie Walker did all right tonight. Yeah,
and listen, you're entitled to be nervous when you're 30 years old and you're making your debut at your hometown club.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So pleased for him, so happy for him, so proud of him. The guys all applauded him after in the dressing room, rightly so. Probably a really unusual game for him to play in as well, in terms of where he ended up on the pitch a lot with the ball, because the Northampton set up.
The halfway line.
Yeah, and listen, you've seen Lee Nichols do it a lot. We're putting so much on those guys, on the goalkeepers, in terms of with the ball and what they're expected to do. They have to have a lot of courage and conviction in what they're doing. And for Laurie to do that in his first game, and in the end, you can see he's enjoying it. He's dinking passes into the front man. And he made a couple of brilliant saves. So it's testament to Dino and the confidence he's given Laurie and the work he's put into him. Dean Thornton there's no coincidence our two goalies have improved hugely since he's come in. No doubt about it. The hard work he puts into him every single day. So I'm really proud of Dean, because I knew what he'd bring when he came to the club, and I'm so fortunate I've got a group of staff that I love and trust and respect hugely. I know they're excellent at what they do. So firstly, Dean deserves a credit for that, and then after that it's on the guys, Lee and Laurie, and they support each other. Laurie knows his role in the squad. He knows what he's got, what he hasn't, and he's extremely grateful. And his gratitude is one of the best things about him, that he's just so happy to be here playing for his hometown club. And again, he's come in tonight. He's shown he's taken every bit of information we've worked on, every bit of detail. He's been great in training, and he deserves that. He really, really deserves that. So I'm really pleased for him. And it helps us as well, and knowing that we've got someone like Laurie if we ever need him. So yeah, really, really delighted for Laurie.
Pleased with the way that Regan, Paul and Warren O'Hara slotted back in for you?
Yeah, I thought probably a bit like us really. He started a little bit slow, but he soon got up to speed. I thought he was excellent in the second half. I thought he was really good, really physical, really aggressive, calm on the ball. We've got a lot to work on with Warren. It's a real interesting project for us, because he's not our player, but at the same time, he's got so much potential that we have to make sure we realise that and maximise what he has to our advantage. Because if you look at him, he's the perfect shape. He's got great athleticism for his position. And again, he's another young guy, so we're going to have to be really patient. And he's got people like George Williams and Richard Keogh who are going to really push him and challenge him and make him better. And it's mine and Luke's job to make sure we realise what the potential he's got. So I was really pleased with him. I was really, really pleased with him. He's been away with Ireland, and then he got a concussion, so he hasn't been able to do as much work as we'd want him to. But the fact they can come in and again, they're fast learners, these guys. They want to improve, they want to get better. And that's the culture we need at the football club, and that's one of the reasons we brought him in, because of his attitude, everyone we spoke about, and his dedication to improvement. So yeah, really pleased for him, and Regs as well. Regs is, I spoke to you about it before, he's so versatile. I feel like we found a role that really suits him in the team. I think him and Callum's going to be a really interesting battle for that position. Two really top quality performers, if we get it right at this level, both with so much potential. So they're going to have to really push each other. And Regan's been excellent in pre-season. He's got a couple of goals now. He's got a couple of assists as well. So yeah, and we haven't done as much work with these guys as we would have wanted, because they've been away on international. So I'm looking forward to working with all of them. They've both done great, and I'm pleased with both of them purely because of the people they are and how much hard work they put in.
After seeing the sort of calibre of teams that you played in pre-season, does it, I don't know, make you feel more at ease, having seen how well you put away another League One side? Another League One side, or was this something that you always thought was capable?
Yeah, listen, we're going to come up against some really tough challenges this year, and loads of different challenges. But I think I was really pleased with our performances against high calibre opposition, apart from Norwich. But I think we learnt as much from the Norwich games we have done in any other game since we've been here. So I think it will help us ultimately long term. But the other ones, Arsenal, Coventry, and then Coventry again on Saturday, I've been really pleased with the performances. So, and also, we've got so much work to do. So that's what I've said all the way along. We've got so much more to do, so much more, so much room for improvement individually and collectively that really like the non-negotiables now are there. The intensity, the work rate, the pressing, the way they move together up the pitch, they stay connected, they try and control the game as much as possible. So all of that is us. It's the identity we want as a team, as a club. The rest is his work, his detail, and it's going to take. I've said to you, we have to get better, and I'm really pleased with the performances so far. I'm really pleased with tonight, but we have to keep getting better, and we have to keep improving. Otherwise, the minute we stand still, we're going to. And I do believe we're going to be. Teams are going to really try and stop us, which will make it. I think last year we got paid until we were 5, 6, 7 games in. We got paid very little respect by people because of, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. We were in the relegation zone. We were on a really bad run. So teams didn't have anywhere near as much respect for us or our style or anything until we got better at it. And I feel we're getting better at it. So we might have a little bit more respect and teams wanting to really stop us and beat us. So it's going to be new challenges every week, which we have to make sure we're ready for. But yeah, I was pleased with a different challenge tonight and the way they dealt with it, especially after going a goal down. They showed a lot of resilience and a really strong mentality. And the last half hour, you could see they were enjoying it. They were really enjoying themselves, and they earned the right to do that in the previous 60 minutes.
It gives you a running start into the League One proper and everything that comes along with the league campaign.
Yeah, and Saturday's going to be another. They're all going to be. We were looking at the fixture board earlier, and we're going, there's no easy games, There's not. October's a crazy month. I think we've got 2 months where we play 7 games. 1 month where we potentially play 8 games if you do okay in the FA Cup, etc. So it's going to be so full on. I've said to you all the way along, I'm not promising anything. I promise that we'll improve and we will stick with the process and trust that and stick with doing what we are going to do against whoever we play. We're not going to bounce game to game and change, and of course we're going to tweak and we're going to adapt. You have to, but we're going to stick to us and what we do and what I believe in and what we believe in. So it is a positive result ahead of Saturday, but Saturday's a completely different game, a new challenge, and one we need to start preparing for right now.
And the standard question, having only spoken to you 36 hours ago, well, any movement on the transfer window? Are we expecting anybody in before Saturday's game?
Potentially, there has been some movement, but we're just waiting now. So I'm not. I can't. I'd love to come on to you guys, but I really don't want to overpromise and under-deliver. So we're waiting. We've put an offer out to 2 players. As the chairman spoke about, one was really substantial. We're waiting here on that one. It's there. It's still there. So, and another player we've offered to, who, he's been offered. So we'll have to wait and see. So, listen, I'm always hopeful, but I think what we've shown in the last however many weeks and the last couple of games is that we are. And listen, you're always trying to add quality and depth. We're probably lacking a little bit of depth at the minute. But the players we've got here, I'm immensely pleased with. I love working with. They've got great attitude to and belief in what we're doing, and attitude to training and performing, and they know that they need to keep getting better and keep improving to get where we want to go to. It's as simple as that, however long that will take us. But of course we need to try and help these guys that we've already got, and if that means bringing 1 or 2 in to try and help us in the areas we need it the most, and we're going to try and do that, and we are working hard to do that. But I think if you look at the business we've done, Toby, I think it's we lost a lot of players. We've brought a couple of players back, and they're new signings. People feel like, it's just bringing the same players back, but Carlton shows in his half an hour that he comes on how good he can be. Louis Thompson's nearly back from injury. He's come back in incredible shape. They're new players, and Lass is knackered. He's hardly played in pre-season. He's done brilliant against tonight. He'll learn all the time. So I'm really, really happy with the people we've got. We've got Richard Keogh to come back in, as we spoke about the other day. So Danny Harvey on international duty still. So I'm really, really happy with what we've got. But we'll still try and add a couple if we can, but they've got to be the right ones.
Well, I look forward to asking you again on Friday.
And I look forward to giving you a shorter answer than that. No probs.
Is it a testament to the flow that all three of the Dons goals today featured academy products in the either setup or scoring of them. And will there continue to be opportunities going forward for youngsters?
I hope so. I'm a big believer in giving people opportunity. I'm a big believer in people who want to learn and demonstrate every day the right attitude and take on detail and want to improve, that they deserve a chance at some point. So, yeah, I hope so. I really, really hope so. I think what we tried to do is connect the academy back to the first team as much as we possibly can with John Goodman and Steve and Lee. So we've really tried to get them to understand what the players need to look like when they come into the first team squad. I think they've stripped right back as well, and they're really trying to start again in terms of what they want to look like, their identity, if you like, as an academy, and what the players should look like coming through. So we're trying to get back to being an MK Dons that the chairman's proud of, that the people want to watch, and it takes time, but I'm really pleased with the guys that have stepped up for us. And as I said a bit earlier when you weren't on, Charles, like, the guys are continue to surprise people, which is the best thing ever. I'm more than open to being surprised by anyone and everyone. I don't think you can ever shut yourself off to any player that's here. And the young guys they're making it really difficult to be left out and to not be a part of it.
Sure, and I know John Freeman's one that's had quite an escalated role of late. He was starting on Saturday. He was involved in both the goals after coming on today. Is he potentially someone that's one for the future?
I think he, as I just said, he continues to surprise people. We had chats over the lockdown period where, it was quite honest where we see him, where he was at. He's come back better physically. He's got no question marks in his mentality. He's supremely confident in his own ability and what he can do, and he's a fantastic footballer. So I think that he has to be one. He has to be one for the future, and we have to try and help him continue to improve, to try and grow with us, the same as Matty. And I think this clubs at this level, they need to, especially with what's happened with the salary cap and all that stuff, young players are going to become more important than ever. So we need to make sure that every day, every week, every game, every period, every development game, every competitive game, that they improve and they get better and they learn from it. And it's up to us. I hold us, myself and Luke and Dean and the sports science, the staff, we're really responsible for these guys, how they develop as players and people. I really care about them and about that. And sometimes we're going to have to be frustrated and we're going to have to be really patient, but they have to try and grow with us, and they'll be part of our group and our squad now, because we haven't got a huge amount of depth or numbers, so they'll be part of us, and they've just got to keep forcing themselves into getting more opportunities and forcing us into picking them and making sure they get them.
Absolutely. Thanks, Russell.
No problem. Hi, James.
So you've spoken before about how you want everyone to be playing as a unit rather than relying on just one particular player. So you must be quite pleased that all three goals today came from three different players playing three different positions. Yeah,
of course. Yeah, I think I've said it lots of times, and we will only be successful if we have people functioning for the team and not for themselves. Unfortunately, at the minute, we've got a group who want to do that. They stick to the detail, they stick to the plan, they stick to what we're doing. And I said to them, if they have enough discipline to stick to that and patience to stick to what we're asking them to do, they will look better, because the team will function better. And they've all bought into that. And really pleased. We're going to need goals from everywhere this season. There's no doubt about it. We're going to need goals from all over the pitch, and we're playing a formation now which does allow, the two wing backs scored again tonight. They scored against Fulham. So this formation does allow chances. Dave Kasumi got in the box a couple of times tonight, a little bit more composure and a little less rustiness. He probably gets himself a goal or assist as well. So, yeah, really pleased with that. Everyone needs to chip in, everyone needs to function, they need to score goals, everyone needs to defend together. One of the highlights of the game for me, because I'm a complete weirdo, was watching 7 of our players sprint 80 yards back to get behind the ball in the last 2 minutes of the game, recovery run. So that's incredible. That tells me a lot about them as a group and about where we're heading, and I'm excited about it.
And even holding a 2-goal lead with 4 minutes left in the game, your players still were driving forward, trying to get more chances and getting a couple of shots on goal.
Yeah, I think
really pleased with their determination to get out the win.
Yeah, their mentality was great, and I think they were just enjoying having the ball at that point, and just, you know, everyone on there wanted to, but they didn't go crazy in terms of trying, 10 step overs and beating someone. They stuck to the structure. That was the most pleasing bit, and they got joy from it. And as I said, we on another night might have had another goal or two, but yeah, really pleased with it. And they deserved that. They'd earned that for the last, the previous, as I said, 60, 70 minutes, where that's to be really patient and disciplined. And hopefully, we'll have other times in the season where they can enjoy that.